This is the Washington Times front page for Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. A federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to halt its firing of federal employees during the government shutdown. Mallory Wilson and Stephen Dinan report U.S. District Judge Susan Ilston sided with two labor unions that represent federal workers, saying the attempted reduction in force was illegal. She issued a restraining order telling the government to stop issuing reduction in force notices and not to enforce notices already sent from agencies where either of the unions represent employees. Government attorneys had said the departments were the ones making the decisions. The Supreme Court is trying to determine how much, if at all, states and judges can use race to address discrimination in congressional and state legislative district maps. Alex Sawyer reports the court's conservative-leaning majority was troubled by the way race has come to dominate some redistricting court battles. It seemed prepared to redraw a part of the 1965 Voting Rights Act that has come to be seen as a prod for legislatures to create majority-minority districts. At issue is Louisiana's attempt to draw its 6 U.S. House districts. Court orders mandated the state to add a second majority black seat to accommodate its high black population. To opponents, that was a crass and likely unconstitutional attempt to reduce voters to their race. Health industry insiders say insurance premiums are poised to rise quickly because of more Americans using new drugs for weight loss and cognitive disorders. Sean Zalai reports global accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers predicts the cost of health insurance provided by private employers will rise by 8.5% in 2026, the same rate as this year. That's the biggest increase since 2012, when PwC found that costs for the employer-sponsored healthcare market rose by 8.5%, 2 years after the Affordable Care Act became law. PwC blames the latest increases on rising hospital expenses, growing demand for diabetes and weight loss medications, and a 45% increase in behavioral health service claims from January 2023 to December 2024. Americans rely on rare earth elements in their daily lives, whether they know it or not, making production of these metals a powerful bargaining chip in trade tensions between the U.S. and China. Tom Howell and Bill Gertz report they're used in cell phones, hard drives, hybrid engines, lasers, medical devices, and televisions, just to name a few. The elements also power green technology, including windmill turbines, and help magnets inside electric vehicle motors perform even when the motor heats up. China knows this and is suddenly flexing its near monopoly on extracting and processing the minerals to gain leverage on the global stage. Its new export controls on rare earth minerals and products made from them reflect a bid to dominate world markets and have emerged as major tools in an escalating trade war with the U.S. China has severely restricted the elements, prompting President Trump to threaten a 100% tariff on Chinese goods, effective November 1st. And finally, New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani pledges to start phasing out the city's gifted and talented programs in elementary schools in the name of equity. Susan Faricia reports Mamdani announced his plan after other school districts sought to equalize accelerated learning programs long populated by mostly white and Asian students. For at least a decade, school districts have moved to scrap gifted and talented style classes in favor of broader enrichment programs that use enrollment formulas to increase the number of Black and Hispanic students. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.